yes, it's another road trip. Partially because it's got some good cloudage. And the other reason for the road trip is we're off to collect 4 new hens. Mrs Maran was taken this afternoon by a fox. That's the smaller of the hens with the brown feathers on her neck. I could hear, and we'd let them out. The first time we'd let them out was 2.5 days ago, thinking they've been in a month, they should be safe now, but no. So I heard a noise at about 2 o'clock. I could hear noises, but I thought it sounded like a chicken yelling because she'd laid an egg, because sometimes they do that, you know.
They scream for epidurals, you know.
So I said to Mark, I heard chicken shouting, and he went out and looked and found a mess of feathers. I think it would have been a young fox that took her, because there's obviously been quite a struggle. The amount of feathers left in the garden is not a clean kill. So yeah, there's just Mrs Brahma on her own, and we sat and had a bit of a discussion for, I don't know, about 10 minutes about, well, what do we do? Do we leave Mrs Brahma as a lone hen? Have we decided that we're done with chicken keeping? We decided that we're done with our own eggs and we'll go back to buying eggs. And I think the consensus, well, obviously the consensus was that we're not done yet. We've already engaged Ludo to come and clean out the hen coop at the end of next week. Because Mark just doesn't have the stamina now to do that.
Well, unless I did it over 3 days.
And he doesn't want to admit that he doesn't have the stamina, so he says, well, unless I do it over 3 days. I had asked Phil, when you come over, will you? And he said yes, of course, which was nice, but I'd rather pay Ludo to do it. So he's coming at the end of next week. So I looked on Le Bon Coin and for to see if there were any battery hens, expats, but there weren't any. And I found these near 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away, laying hens, pretty coloured, just laying hens, and that's all we need. So I know it seems like a bit of a quick turnaround, you know, no grieving or anything, but we're going to go and pick up hens. I promise you that if you die, I will grieve for a bit longer before bringing in another man.
Oh, probably 4, surely.
I think we're just so used to the loss of the hens, which is why we don't name them. You know, that it's no longer shocking. It's like, oh, there we go again. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So we're off to buy some new hens. It's been a long time since, well, obviously since we went to the market and bought the hens in the market where Mrs Maran came from with the azure. Did we only buy 2 hens? No, the limpy one, the one that had the splint.
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. What did we call her? Mrs Hopalong or something. So that is over a year ago. It's, you know, so yeah, new hens. So in other news, the new internet box came yesterday afternoon, and we went to pick it up and exchange our old one for the new one, and brought it back and spent an hour trying to get it to connect, and it wouldn't. And finally, I am freezing to death with the aircon on. Can I turn it down?
Yeah.
Finally, I realised that actually it's not the box, it's not the internet box, it's the bloody orange phone line again. You know, we're back to where we were 3 weeks ago, where it's orange that's, you know, gone kaput, not the internet box. My neighbour Vincent was in the same boat. He went and picked up a new box. I met him in the cafe the PMU where we picked them up. So he had no internet. He had to swap his box, and then messaged me in the evening and said, "Have you got internet?" I said no. So we were in the same boat. So as we were coming out just now to, on our way to pick up the hens, there was a cherry picker outside, but it was further up with our neighbour, whose name we will not mention, further up the road with him. So we didn't think anything of it. But as Mark started to reverse out, get ready to leave, I could see it was up our telephone pole. The man that belonged, the cherry picker belonged to, not the cherry picker on its own. So he was up there, up the telephone pole for about 3 or 4 minutes. Did a bit of fiddling around. It looked like he put some sort of new cable in or something. And our neighbour was out there supervising. So I think our neighbour's been without internet as well, which I think is why we've got orange there so quickly. Because I'm sure that he didn't put up with that patiently. So yeah, we're hopeful when we get back. Not only will we have 4 new hens, but that we'll have internet, proper internet. We've been using a hotspot, but I've been able to use it. But Mark, every time, is not, comes in and sits next to me on the table and isn't really getting much internet. So hopefully when we get home, we'll be connected. Then I have to input the passwords into everything, and the password is 5 miles long. So yeah, they did talk about there being storms later, and it certainly is looking promising for that, but not with us. I think it's like the storms are near us, but not with us. I'm quite happy with that after what happened the other day. That was Sunday, it's now Wednesday. So I'm going to stop this here because I've got to put Mrs. Google Maps on now to direct us to where we're going. And I will show you some hen footage tomorrow maybe.